All right. On this lecture module, we're going to be looking at definitions of recession and depression. So here's our business cycle, boom and bust, boom and bust. Prior to the Great Recession, starting with the boom and bust of 2007, 2008, which ended 2007, 2008, we had economic growth was at 3%. And then after all the bailouts of 2007, 2008, we had a new normal of 2% economic growth and higher than historic or lower than historic rates of labor force participation rate. And like I said, today, for the first time in 30 years that I've been studying, that economic growth rate is less than the growth rate of the national debt. And of course, that's going to get a lot worse, and everything is changing now under the coronavirus. So what we ask then is, are business cycles natural or are they man-made? If you're a classical liberal, we realize that business cycles are a natural phenomenon based on history, we started as agricultural economy, and so you had natural business cycles based on the agriculture cycle. But for Keynesian economists or interventionists or most economists, experts, for most experts, business cycles are man-made, and therefore, then business cycles can be corrected by man using Keynesian economics, fiscal and monetary intervention. And we discussed that in our Hardfire TV show, The Problem with Macroeconomics, that type of thinking. And we also have a show called A Simple Explanation for the Business Cycles, which explains the boom and bust banking, for which Hayek won the Nobel Prize in economics for. So back to the definitions of recession and depression. So during the downward portion of the business cycle here, is when you get recessions and depressions. So a recession is 2 quarters of negative rates of economic growth and below natural rates of unemployment. So a recession is 2 quarters of negative economic growth and a below natural rate of unemployment, where a depression is 4 quarters of negative economic growth and then 4 quarters of below the natural rate of unemployment. Or a recession is when your neighbor loses their work, and a depression is when you lose your work. And again, we've got 2 hardfire shows on the business cycle if you're interested. Thank you. That completes our module on definitions of recession and depression.